it, clean it, and every single book had cuttings of newspaper and underlined paragraphs with little notes on the side. And I was like, oh my God, I just can't believe that he went through all these books. I think 99.9% of the books were read by him. We haven't even gone through, I would say, 20% of his collection yet. And we already have, 10 boxes on the side. There are just so many things that, little things that touched us. And I just hope that we can continue his legacy of his simplicity, of his compassion, of his humility. Even if I can be an iota of what he was, I would feel I would feel that I have been a good human being. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Meenu. It was, it's really illuminating in terms of a life, the private part of his life that we did not know that much about. And Jessie, you want to say a few words?
First of all, I would like to thank everyone, both virtually and in person, to come here and share our father's memory with us. I had the good fortune, unfortunately, with Mom's passing, I had the good fortune of spending a lot of time with my father. And India International Center was our hangout place. Every time Papa and I would come here, we would sit in the library for a couple of hours, and then I would join him for coffee. And that's where I got acquainted and got to know a lot of his friends, a lot of whom are here present today. His quest for knowledge, I don't have words to express that. And for him, everything, he would just want to get to the crux of things. Every time I would read an author and I would get stuck, and I would be like, Papa, this is difficult. And he would say, no, get to the crux of it. Just get to the core of it. Rest of it is all jargon. Don't get muddled by what, it's just the crux, the core is what matters. And sometimes he would simplify the ideas for me and say, hey, this author says this. Rest of it, don't worry. This is what's important. And I'm not sure if I still can think and break complex ideas so simply. He would just put things so simply that even a common man could understand what is it that the authors or the philosophers are trying to convey. He was a very simple, humble man, but he was a man of principles. And just to share a small anecdote, so every time he would drive, even if the speed limit, and I would always say, Papa, now we're going on a Delhi darshan. And he would always laugh and say, I know, I'm a slow driver, but I cannot drive rash. And I would say, okay, I'm going to drive. And every time I would drive, even if I would go even 1 kilometer over the max line, he would start saying, slow. He would never say anything. He would just gesture. He would be like, and I would know, okay, I need to slow down. So I'm just hoping, that, we can live by his principles and pass those down to our children and hope we can make him proud. And I know right now he's with Mom and, they're going to look after us. So we're not alone. And, but I just want to humbly thank all of you for being here, for your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessie. Thank you very much. We have, people who have linked up to this meeting and would like to say a few words as well. Mr. Krishnamurthy from our Vice Chairperson of TII would like to say a few words. Could you unmute him?
Respected Professor Madhubala Madam, respected Wadhwa sir, and all board members of the TII, and all the well-wishers and the relatives who have joined here. I had a long association with Baba Saab, and such a great soul, always guided me. I was a very junior IPS officer. He brought me to Transparency International, and the way in which the simplicity that I have to really adore him with, that qualities of simplicity. And I had brought him even to Trivandrum for some TII program, and he spoke very well. One of the speeches was just now we all heard, and his main motive was to see that the corruption ends in India. And he has written a book, and that has to be published. And I think it will be published on his birthday, April 26th. And I would like to pay my respects and wish him wish that his soul reaches the eternal peace. Thank you very much, madam, for allowing me. And one of his relative, Arvinder, wanted to talk to him, madam, before we join. Please give him an opportunity, madam. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Dr. Arvinder Luma, Baba Saab's son-in-law, Meenu's husband, spouse, would like to say a few words. Please, Dr. Luma.
Thank you, honorary, distinguished collective over here. I just wanted to offer my 2 words of eulogy, if you will. And, just we are all here to celebrate the life of my father-in-law, or as I call Papa, or Baba Saab, to you guys. Many of you know me as husband of the elder daughter, Manmeet. But I like to think that our relationship has transcended into a mentor-mentee, pushing the boundaries of our intellectual pursuits, if you will. Not only was he a nurturing father, and I saw him as a father more and less of a father-in-law. And quite often we exchange ideas as academic colleagues, which led to cross-pollination of our research streams. Even though I'm a professor in business, but I gravitated towards looking into areas of labor abuses and how management tools could be used for that, based on our intellectual conversations. And he would, in his writings, would add management tools for police administration, etc. Some of the one memory that stands out to me was when he visited us in the United States. And one time he was quite late in. We got very worried, and when basically he ended up walking into a police station to know how the entire U.S. police system works and how they handle the corruption. Compare that with the compare that with the Indian context. So I appreciated the fact that he at all times he had a positive attitude towards everything, and he did not miss a single opportunity to learn something more about the world we live in. I try to think he's the epitome of Sant Sipahi, as we call it in Sikhism. I always marveled his spiritual outlook to life, but at the same time having this personal discipline to put values and integrity ahead of personal glory. As Da Vinci says, and a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so life well used brings happy death. So I like to think if anybody lived life sufficiently, it's my Papa. And I am glad to have the memories he has provided us. He did live his life sufficiently, brimming with character. So I'm thankful for the lifelong memories he has provided us. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Dr. Lunga. It's very nice to have heard from you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak from Ram? Okay, I think yes.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Partho Sarkar, Secretary for the Maharashtra chapter of TII. Let me just walk back few steps. I am referring a date 18th April of 2018, and that was the only one and sole occasion where I had the chance to hear Baba Sahib, a marvelous articulate speaker with a very, very clear thought. Let me put it very clearly, the audience which was there, the chapter opening was there. So phenomenally, he laid out a roadmap of what is there, what TII stands for, what TII intends to do, and how it has made a certain kind of visible impact on the life. See, corruption, transparency, they go hand to hand. And who could have best expounded than Baba Sahib? He expounded it so clearly, so articulately that if there is a transparency, corruption and transparency, they are sworn enemies. And that is the word I remember. And that is the word I think all of us will agree without any contest. Transparency and governance, good governance, these are natural, I should say, Siamese twins. So perhaps even for that little moment of maybe half an hour, I could have heard him saying, and maybe another 45 minutes of personal interaction. I really deeply regret to have not even met thereafter. Perhaps that's the way things are. That's the way for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for me, it tolls for me. So that is how I can put it. So sincerely pray his soul rest in peace. And the bereaved family, my condolences to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sarkar. Karam, next we have somebody else.
You can request that if anyone wants to speak.
Yes. Does anybody else want to say a few words? You can please just send a message. We will unmute you. Hello.
Madam, actually, Bari Sahib wanted to talk something, madam.
Okay.
Mr. Bari, if he is available.
Yes, so Mr. Bari. Mr. Bari has been a very, very long-standing member of TII.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
IC Srivastava.
Okay. May speak for 2 minutes? Yeah.
Yes,
Hello,
please.
madam.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, madam. Yeah, actually, I'm also one of the oldest members of the Transparency International India. Now, he was with us from very beginning itself. Admiral Talyani, when he was the governor of Sikkim, he was with him. He was with him in Sikkim, and he was right-hand person of Admiral Talyani, and they did a great job in Sikkim. And in Sikkim also, what had happened, Dalai Lama was invited to inaugurate mobile van, medical van, for the treatment of the people who were in the slum areas. And he was with him at that point of time. And then always speaking about the values, he used to do it. Admiral Talyani requested him to become the member of the Transparency International India when they came back from there. But before that, I had little association with him. When we used to discuss about our lives and then again how we passed our days in college and whatnot. And he knew many friends, my own IPS classmates, and then he knew them. First of all, he told me, yaar, Ganganagar mein tum ho rehte ho. Ganganagar mein mere pitaji principal the. My father was the principal of Khalsa School way back in Ganganagar. And then again, he joined the RAS initially. And then later on, he became the IPS officer later. And then no doubt, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa and whatnot, he had served at many places. How he helped us in the school, I mean, I want to share with you. First of all, when he was with the LG in Delhi, he was kind enough to process our case for upgradation of the school, and we made it a senior secondary school in GK2, grade class 2. He was very instrumental in that. And then again, as the Transparency International India, one of the senior members, I mean, Admiral Talyani had a lot of faith in him, and always used to say, Bari, we will make him the president of our Transparency International India. He, as the chairperson, I mean, initially the office of the Transparency International India was in my school in JK2. They were all there, working over there, Ashukesh Jha, all of them were there. And then later on it shifted to the Lashmat Bhavan. And there, I mean, the children, they all seeing the office of the Transparency International India, they used to get motivated to fight out the corruption. Well, I would like to share here one incident which the Transparency International India taught our children to be above the board and to fight out the corruption. In our school, one girl got admission in class 11th. And when she was there, she said, shared her views with other people. In our school, I had to pay 90,000 rupees for admission in the school. The other children, they came forward, no, it cannot happen in our school. It is impossible. It cannot happen at all. And the things were brought to us. And then again, we shunted that person out, canteen wala. And the Admiral used to quote this incident quite frequently at that point of time. Shri Baba Sahab used to visit our school very frequently. I mean, maybe UN Anti-Corruption Day or maybe the annual day, the Founders Day. He used to be there, address our children. I mean, he always, his talk used to be spiritual. I mean, giving the values to the children. He used to insist on giving, the lectures on the values part of it. You should become good human beings. He himself was a very good human being. And he used to, no doubt, speak on the Integrity Pact, his favorite subject, and also the Integrity Pact. I mean, no doubt he became renowned, not only in India and the whole of the world, on giving lectures on the fighting out the corruption from India as well as the worldwide. As say personal relationship, we used to exchange our views. I mean, we used to be together many times, and then again, he used to stay alone, and then we will have a word after 15-20 days. When I also asked him, Baba Sahab, it's difficult to pass time, and then again, when you sit at home, because why don't you write something? You know, as he was fond of writing, you 2-3 pages every day you should write down. I mean, since he himself was a good writer, and then he motivated me, he also told me to write down. Then he would always share, not only with the children, with the friends also, be satisfied what you have got. Be content what you have got. Then again, you will be a happy person. You will remain a happy soul. And then he used to quote two things. I mean, often, दूसरियां दी चौपड़ियां देख के ना तरसा तू जी, दूसरियां दी चौपड़ियां देख के ना तो तरसा जी, रुखी सुखी खा के ठंडा पानी पी. मतलब contentment. Don't compare yourself with the other people. They have got the car, they have got the beautiful car, they have got the Mercedes, they have got this one. Be content what you have got with you. This is what he used to share with my children, and always with the friends all around. He was a spiritual man. He used to worship 2 to 4 hours every day. He used to read a lot. I mean, all bade granth padha karte the. He used to have the knowledge about the granths also. He often used to quote also. So he quoted once one, Nanak naam chardiyan kala, tere bhane sabda bhala. You know what he used to say? Well, keep on praying to God Almighty and think good of others, do good for others. This is what he used to share with us. And he made a name in fighting out the corruption. He trained my children in the school to fight out the corruption. And at this point of time, at winter time, I mean, both the girls are there, his daughters are there. And then again, I mean, they are lucky, fortunate to take birth in his family, and they were brought up by him. I would like to, on behalf of the school, the management of the school, the students of the children, We express our indebtedness to him for cultivating values among our children, among our members of staff. And at this point of time, we pray to God Almighty. All of us will have a prayer meeting also in the school. Pray to God Almighty to bless peace to the departed soul. He was a great man. We'll miss him. Transparency International India will miss him. He did a great job for the Transparency International India. Thank you very much, sir. My heartfelt condolences. Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a message from Mr. Vora. Sorry.
I see Srivastava, may I speak?
Yes, please go ahead. Do. Who is speaking?
May
Okay.
I not permitted?
Mr. Srivastava, please do go ahead.
We are here to pay our homage to Baba Sahib, who was a thorough gentleman, a worthy colleague, and he set example himself by his conduct. We were very happy. I was just want to say that I was succeeded him also in a way, and I'm missing him. I wanted to come physically also. I wish I could join you all there, but I am pained on one thing that we would not carry on his legacy in maintaining our affiliation with the Transparency International, that is international body, and somehow he made a lot of effort, concerted effort. They suggested so many things, and we carried out. We complied with their instructions and whatever. We had 2-3 meetings, and a former foreign minister of Bangladesh also came, and we had 2-3 meetings with him, and we tried to convince him. Baba Sahib, you see, resigned, and the entire board, I was there. We all collectively surrendered, in fact, and we made so many changes. So what I'm suggesting is that somehow we should make effort, concerted effort, to maintain our affiliation, and it has somehow not been possible so far. So this is my urge. I want to request all of you that we should make some effort to maintain our affiliation, to renew our affiliation in some way or the other. But I don't know how we can do it. But this is my earnest request to all of you. We all pay homage to this great man. So he came to Rajasthan when I was chapter the chairman, and he infused a lot of enthusiasm in us, and we carried. And he as Group Captain Bari mentioned, he started his career as RA officer in state, and then he came and then was promoted to IPS. I mean, he tried competition, of course, but then we all, and he endeared himself to all of us by his examples, and we all miss him. We pay homage to him. Yes. Thank you very much. We all join you.
Thank you very much, Rasif sir. Thank you. We are getting some messages online. I think you can look at them later. But Mr. Vora, N.N. Vora, who has been chairperson of of India International Center, has sent a special message. He says he's very sorry he couldn't come for the meeting because he has just come out of quarantine. But he's very, very sad to hear about Baba Sahib's passing, and he sends his condolences to his family and his friends. So that's a message from Vora sir. Is there anybody else who would like to speak now? Ram, who are we getting?
Mr. Chauhan.
Mr. Chauhan, please.
Good afternoon, all the online distinguished participants. I'm life member of the Transparency India. I pay homage to Baba Sahib, who was a very, very pious man and a thorough gentleman. He dedicated his retired life for the Transparency International and for integrity. He was associated with almost all the souvenirs of journals and the I'm in the newsletters of the Transparency International so far, and he inspired us all to, undertake the awareness among the children for the transparency and all that. I pay my homage and pray God to rest the departed soul into the eternal peace and give strength to the bereaved family to bear this irreparable loss. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Bhandari, Baba Saab's son-in-law, his second daughter's husband, I think he would like to say something as well. Manpreet's husband.
Sat Sri Akal, good afternoon to everyone. I'm still grasping and collecting my words to speak to this intelligent crowd over there. But Papa, we miss you and we're going to miss you forever. Highly, highly educated, patient, kind-hearted gentleman. Every time I would win a project, I'm a businessman in Dubai, he would personally call me up and congratulate me. We would go through the project, and only one word, what he used to tell me, Bacha, always maintain your integrity, whatever you do. And that word still echoes in my ears every time I sleep, every time I wake up. It's been 10 days. And that loss is irreparable loss. Not only to me, to my family. My wife could not make it today. And my daughters. Every time I had a presentation, every time I would speak on a stage, I would pass on the note to him. He would correct it and he would give his inputs. I don't know where and whom I would go to now. My wife would every day talk to him between 11 to 12. She bought a coffee machine to speak so that he would have a coffee over there and my wife would have a coffee over here and exchange ideas. So anyway, it's a difficult time, but we should celebrate his life. He would always talk about, I don't know you guys personally. I see his people and his books were the biggest companion. What a warrior he was. He never complained about loneliness, as Meenu said. Every time we would talk to him and say, Papa, are you alone? He's saying, no, I'm surrounded by books. I'm surrounded by such a nice people around me. Never showed on his face that he was alone. I salute that gentleman. He was a great fighter and he's united with his wife, Mama. And I wish him all the best and shower his love, affection, what he's been, always given it to us, to the entire family. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gurdeep Nandra would like to say something. Am I right on that one? Mr. Nandra? Do you want to say a few words?
Hello.
Yes. We've got Mr. Chopra back. Yes. Yes, Mr. Nandra, please.
Hello.
Yes, hello, we can hear you. Are you going to say a few words? Yes.
I'm GS Vorai speaking. Currently, I'm chairman Transparency International Rajasthan chapter. So everybody has spoken in English, but I'd like to offer my give my homage in Hindi. I have written few words for him because एक बार वो जब यहाँ आए थे, हमने उनको यहाँ invite किया था राजस्थान में. Please, you hear me?
Yes, absolutely, we can. Yes.
एक बार वो यहाँ पर आए थे, हमारे इनविटेशंस पे आए थे यहाँ पर एड्रेस करने के लिए, और तब मुझे डेप्यूट किया गया था उनको एस्कॉर्ट करने के लिए, और मैंने उनको होटल में जब मैं गया तो मैंने देखा कि इतनी सिंप्लिसिटी थी उनमें, कोई हद ही नहीं। और मैं तो जैसे वो बाहर आए और मिले तो मैंने उनको कहा, मैं पहचान नहीं पाया था, तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ वैसे आप किससे मिलना, मैंने कहा सर मैं मिस्टर बावा से मिलना चाहता हूँ, कि मैं ही मिस्टर बावा हूँ। तो फिर मैंने अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दिया और फिर हम साथ साथ गए और मैंने कुछ शब्द उनके बारे में लिखे हैं जो मैं एक्सप्रेस करना चाहूंगा। मैंने लिखा है कि बाबा साहेब एक ऐसी शख्सियत का नाम है जो देवलोक प्रस्थान के बाद भी अपने विचारों, आदर्शों और अपने व्यक्तित्व के कारण आज भी मानव लोक में जीवित हैं और रहेंगे। जब भी हमारे कार्य क्षेत्र में कोई समस्या आई तो उसका निदान हमेशा उनकी राय से हुआ। जब वक्ता के रूप में उन्हें यहाँ बुलाया गया तो उनके भाषण से सारे श्रोता बहुत ही अधिक प्रभावित हुए। पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट के इतने बड़े ओहदे से रिटायर होने के बावजूद भी उनका व्यक्तित्व बहुत ही सादगी, शालीनता से परिपूर्ण, गरिमामय था। उनकी कमी की पूर्ति करना मुश्किल है। मैं यही कंक्लूड करना चाहूंगा और उनको होमेज दूंगा। बस ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना है कि उस पुनीत आत्मा को अपने चरणों में निवास दे और बाकी जो जितने भी उनके मेंबर्स हैं, फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, संपूर्ण परिवार को एवं स्नेहीजन हैं जो उनको दुख सहन करने की शक्ति प्रदान करें। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं कंक्लूड करना चाहूंगा। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, थैंक यू वेरी मच। Can I ask Mr. Razdan, please, I think, to speak? Ram? Yes, Mr. Razdan, please. No?
Probably he's not able to.
BP Singh. Sorry, Mr. BP Singh, yes.
Please.
Can I speak?
Yeah, why? Yeah, Dice also. No. Cordless mic? Yeah. Yeah, cordless mic then I don't know. Meantime, we can take Meher.
Okay. In the meantime, would Meher like to say a few words? Meher?
Yes, thank you so much, all of you, for coming out here. It truly means a lot. As you all know, my Nana was very passionate about the pursuit of justice, and he truly believed in an impartial and fair world. I was incredibly lucky to witness and to be the granddaughter of such a powerful force and a kind spirit. I genuinely am grateful to have learned as much as I did from him, not only being his granddaughter, but also from my time working at Transparency under him and Sir Ramnath as well. It is a surreal feeling to not have him here anymore, but I know through his words and his writings and his teachings, his legacy will live on. And I do want to thank you all for continuing his work. It truly means a lot. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm BP Singh.
Yes.
I was his batchmate. And we have known each other from 1964. And I belong to the Indian Administrative Service. He belonged to the Indian Police Service. And we grew together. I have not come across any other person in my batch or elsewhere who can combine so many qualities. This Transparency International is his symbol of his efforts. But I took over from Tahliani as governor of Sikkim. He had just left Sikkim at that time. And you talk of police, you talk of integrity, you go to Gurudwara, which was set up, they always speak about it. I have yet to come across any other person who will say that Mr. Baba said something which was wrong. He never did that. He also didn't do another thing, and that is to create feuds, to create groupism, or to impose his supremacy. Just 10 days before his passing away, back in India International, he had 2 books. And he was short of hearing. So he would come to me, I said, I can't now. So he will lend the ear which was better. So we will adjust his chair. This is my telling you about the last conversation. My opinion about the books. That book I said was good. Then he said, should I buy it? I said, do you buy books? Even now, if you start buying books, there is no place to read. But since I also write, I said, oh, this book is better. I can get it. Publisher come shopkeeper here, that book gentleman, who something other man. And he said, I will get it. I said, then you get it. And he said, hello. You have to listen to my story, what I want to write. I said, that I will do, but not in the lounge. In the coffee lounge, I can't follow you fully. So I was thinking that he will come with both these books again, give me the outline of his new book. But that was not going to take place. So my homage to him is there, that let India be filled up with people like P.S. Baba and my entire batch of IAS, IPS officers join me in paying that homage, that let this country, we have public servants of that caliber, that integrity, and that sincerity of purpose. May God grant him peace. May God grant him what they say, moksha. And may his journey to light be illuminating all of us, the family members and his friends and his countrymen and the world. We have lost a great man. The grandchildren, because they are his children. His grandchildren. I hope it's clear.
ठीक है मैं अध्ययन करूंगा
Very good.
Justice Kamleshwar Nath is very senior, 90 years old, wanted to speak something.
Okay, so Justice Nath, please. Please, sir, you want to say something? Hello? Justice Nath? Would you like to say a few words, Mr. Nath? You've got
So, Justice, you unmute your mic.
He has to unmute himself. He doesn't know.
That he is already unmuted.
Hello.
Yeah, he's unmuted. Can he hear us?
Yeah, you can see he can go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Nath, please go ahead. Hello? Justice Nath, you can go ahead, please.
Hello.
Sir, you can go ahead. You already speak. Your mic is on mute. You can go ahead. Hello. हेलो हेलो सर आप बोलना शुरू करें आप अनम्यूट हैं यू आर ऑलरेडी ऑन स्क्रीन यू गो अहेड सर आपकी आवाज आ रही है आप
हेलो
हाँ सर आपकी आवाज आ रही है आप बोलें स्क्रीन पे हैं और आपकी आवाज आ रही है
मैं कमलेश्वर नाथ बोल रहा हूँ बाबा जी के निधन का मुझे बेहद अफसोस है, बहुत दुख है। मैं अपनी गहरी संवेदनाएं व्यक्त करता हूँ। बहुत ही मृदुभाषी, बहुत अच्छे पुरुष और बहुत काबिल लोग थे। उनके साथ हमारा काफ़ी समय रहा। हमारे वो चेयरमैन भी रहे और मैं भी एग्जीक्यूटिव में रहा, तो उनका साथ हमारा बहुत अच्छा रहा और हम लोग गए भी थे, श्रीलंका भी साथ गए थे और बहुत ही प्यारे, हमेशा बहुत मदद करने वाले लोगों में से थे। किसी बात के लिए भी हमेशा मदद करते थे और बड़े खुले दिल के, कभी मैंने उनको रफुल नहीं देखा। मैं ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूँ उनकी आत्मा को पूर्ण शांति मिले, उनके परिवार को इस दुख को वहन करने की शक्ति प्रदान हो और हमारे ट्रांसपेरेंसी इंटरनेशनल है वो उनकी स्मृति में हमेशा उसको संजोए रखे। और जैसे हमारे शंभू दत्ता साहब थे इनके महान व्यक्तित्व के साथ ट्रांसपेरेंसी में लगे हुए, वैसे ही हमारे बाबा साहब भी थे। और मैं आशा करता हूँ इस बात की कि भविष्य में भी उनके नाम के कुछ कार्यक्रम इसमें चलाए जाएंगे ट्रांसपेरेंसी में। मेरे लिए अगर कोई सेवा हो सके तो आप निसंकोच कहें, जो हो सकेगा मैं अवश्य करूँगा। पुनः मेरी ईश्वर से प्रार्थना है कि परिवार के सब लोगों को शक्ति मिले और ट्रांसपेरेंसी इंटरनेशनल हमारा आगे बढ़ता जाए और उनकी आत्मा को पूर्ण शांति हो। धन्यवाद।
शुक्रिया जी, थैंक यू, धन्यवाद। I think we have some
Physical mode.
yes, people from the floor who would like to say a few words. This is Valia, Kiran Valia, former minister of the Delhi government and an associate of sir. Kiran?
Yes, yeah, Mike.
Thank you.
सबसे पहले तो मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि मेरे आने का मकसद ये था कि इतना कुछ सुना था बाबा साहब के बारे में। मेरी चंद मुलाकातें उनसे हुई हैं, मेरे दोस्त
हमें सुना ही नहीं पड़ रहा है, हमारी आवाज तो जा रही थी। स्पीकर की आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
वो छूती नहीं है, हृदय को छूती है। उनका जो बड़प्पन है, उनकी जो महानता है,
एक्टिव है, चल रहा है।
वो हम सब लोग रोज समाज में देखते हैं कि वो एक ना कहीं ब्यूरोक्रेसी में जरूर होंगे कुछ लोग, ये नहीं कह सकते हम कि कोई भी नहीं बचा है। शायद धरती कायम है तो उसी वजह से है कि थोड़े से लोग ऐसे हैं, मगर बहुत ही जिसे कहें कि ज्ञान की भी भूख जिसे हो और काम की भी हो और ईमानदारी की भी हो और अपने घर वालों से सबसे इतना प्रेम हो, और फिर भी जिसे कहते हैं कि लगाव जो है वो कुछ कम ही चीजों के साथ रहा, तो वो शायद ऐसे ही लोग कुछ कम हैं समाज में जिनका लगाव उस ज्ञान का दीपक। तो हम सब लोग बहुत सी बातें कहते हैं, दुनिया भर के PhD स्कॉलर्स हैं, दुनिया भर के लोग बहुत सा ज्ञान इधर उधर उनको मौका मिलता है जहाँ पर उसका कहीं ना कहीं पहुंचाते हैं जनता को, मगर जीवन कितना उस पर उतारते हैं तो हम सब जानते हैं, हजारों में। और उसी में से बाबा साहब हैं जो कि जो कहा, जो जाना, उसको जीवन में उतारा। बहुत ही एक गांधीयन क्वालिटी, और हम लोग यहाँ पर कुछ सीख के जाए तो बहुत फायदा होगा। सच्चे ढंग से हम उनको जो श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करते हैं तो इन लोगों से कुछ ना कुछ जरूर आज लेके जाएं। ट्रांसपेरेंसी इंटरनेशनल इंडिया को भी मैं बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ। आपका नाम ही ऐसा है जो कि हम चाहते हैं कि आप बहुत ऊंचे स्तर पर चढ़े, जिसकी हिंदुस्तान को जरूरत है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you very much. Anybody else who would like to say a few words? And then we will wrap up.
एक बाबा साहब के फ्रेंड हैं, मतलब नहीं किए वो बोलना चाहते हैं अमृता राज, मिस्टर राज.
Gee, right. That's my father right here.
Hi, please. Please, आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, आप कहिए please.
जी, I deeply prized my friendship with Mr. Baba, although intellectually I would say we were a world apart from each other, because if he was deeply religious, I'm an atheist, yet I held him in very high respect. Whenever I think of him, my eyes well up with sadness, because we would talk to each other on phone very often on a variety of subjects. I shall miss him for a long time to come, and I feel very sad that he is no more with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else who would like to say a few words? And once, thank you very much to everybody who has spoken here today, who has expressed their love, their affection, their regard for Baba Sahib. Someone else? Kiran. Okay. Hello, Kiran ji. आप बोलना चाहेंगे कुछ?
I'd like to just say a few words on behalf of our batchmates. Mr. Baba was a very good member of our 1964 batch, and we all miss him dearly. We were all very shocked to hear about his sudden demise, and we all offer our heartfelt condolences to the family to bear this absolutely irreparable loss. Apart from being my batchmate, he had become a good friend in the last few years. We used to meet regularly in the coffee shop in IIC, and he involved me in Transparency International also. And I remained a member with him for quite a few years. We traveled together to Pune, we lectured together, and we had a very good association with each other. And I'll really miss him when I come to Delhi next time I'm in IIC, because he was a permanent member there always in the coffee shop. We'll all miss him. My heartfelt condolences to the whole family.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you very much. That's it. Okay. So I think our time here in this hall is also coming to an end. So I just like to say a few things. I'm really, in a sense, amazed at the range of people who he has influenced, who Baba Sahib has influenced. Every person he has touched, it seems to me, has come away with a sense of something bigger than life, something. And but I want to say one thing about him, that I think his greatest contribution to transparency, at least, was that he had a very rational, logical view of corruption and what to do about combating corruption. And what he did was, I think he introduced, and I think the first two lectures that we saw of his, what he did was he introduced the kinds of building blocks. Instituted the kind of building blocks that helped us to move towards a very practical implementation of an anti-corruption initiative. And I think for him, it was always the art of the possible. If we were too high and had great ambitions, he would say, what is it possible for us to do? And I think it was that economy in his thinking that enabled all of us to come back to ground and say, okay, this is what we can do for the moment. This is how we can reform things. This is what we can ask of the government to do, to reply to. And this is what will affect or reform or at least make the ordinary person's life a bit better. Not completely better perhaps, but a bit better. And we can move towards, the larger goal of a corruption-free society. But we need to have much more practical agendas in mind. And very often I think younger people in the organization were a little bit restless about this. But I think they all came to accept the fact that given our system, given the systemic and structural problems that we have, given the way in which our society functions, perhaps his approach, his more practical approach was the way to go. So in that sense, I think he was a great institution builder. I think that will also be his legacy to transparency. I think more than any of us, he has actually helped to build that institution and the core elements of that institution. And really, it's amazing to see that in many ways, it's not just his family that speaks so highly of him, but everybody that he touched. Whether it was his batchmates, whether it is people with whom he had who worked with him in transparency, and also those outside of any former organization that he was a part of. So I think, I don't know, I'm short of words actually to say much of this, but I think the regard with which we hold him, the service that he has done within society, I think that will remain with us for a very long time. And we hope that we in transparency can carry his legacy forward. Certainly, as Mr. Vatwa said, I think his new book should be out. As Ashok Jain Sahab said, I think perhaps we should have a memorial lecture for him when we would actually, release his book. I think there are many things on the cards that we would like to do. And in the days to come, I think in transparency, we will discuss all of this and, bring our chapters, include our various chapters in Maharashtra and Rajasthan, in Kerala, to be a part of this initiative that will back his legacy. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you very much for all your thoughts, and our condolences once again to his family, to his friends, to everybody that he touched and who waits for him. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.